Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and I am tired as hell at 10 minutes after 4 in the AM, my time. Just watched both episodes of Wandavision as soon as they dropped at 3 a.m. I'm on Eastern Standard Time, New York, Toronto time. Anyway, wow, man. This was not what I expected. It wasn't really that great. I'm sure that all these episodes are going to make really great rewatchability episodes. But for right now, um, it was more about noticing little nostalgic things than anything else. This wasn't great. Um, Episode 1 and 2, they're in Westview. That's the town at 2800 something street. The first episode is very Dick Van Dyke esque, where Kevin Feige and a couple others they actually sat down with Mr. Dick Van Dyke. Yes, he is still with us. 2020 did not take him, that bastard. Not Dick Van Dyke, but 2020. Um, they sat down with him and like, how'd you make your show so wonderful? And he was like, oh well, we stayed real, but the blah, and just there's a thing, and it was cool. Um, Whatever. Whatever. The whole show is in black and white. There was one scene really quick that had a little bit of red in it, and that was the Toastmaster 2000 by Stark Industries. Um, it started flashing red, just a little tiny dot flashing red, and then you heard the beep, 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 like there was a time bomb going off. I'm going to get back to the flashing in a moment, but that's the only thing that actually had any color in that first episode. Like I'm just trying to look for clues and things like that because I wouldn't say I was bored, but I was a little bit bored watching this. Um, the there was this big thing about the what date was it? The 23rd of August. I'm like taking down notes and everything. The 23rd of August, there was a heart on the calendar that something was up that day. Turns out that the hearts is this like, Bob Newhart? Is this like Heart to Heart? It's like, one of these old TV shows. The Hearts, Vision's boss at a business where he doesn't know what he does. There's just calculation. Reminds me of Friends because he's working at this place. There's a whole bunch of figures and he doesn't know what these figures are really for. He just has to get out the figures. And the weenus, I remember there was the weenus, that was an acronym for something. What's very interesting about that is the wife of the boss who came over was, the heck is this girl's name? Bow. Miss Hart is Deborah Jo Rupp. So I actually recognized her immediately because she is actually the girl who played. Okay, so Phoebe from Friends, the really weird one, she had her brother's babies. I know it's strange, right? But her brother got married to this older woman, Deborah Jo Rupp, who was having triplets because the artificial insemination and she couldn't carry the kids because her womb was a hostile ground, just like Monica's, go figure. So Phoebe had to carry the babies. Anyway, that was yeah. That's the only thing I ever remembered her from. She was in a couple other things. You go and check it out, but for the most part, um, I just noticed that similarity. There was also another date thrown up in here. Agnes, the next door neighbor. Agnes's anniversary date is June the 2nd. That was only mentioned. Hey Derek, what's up, dude? That was only mentioned because she was like, "Yeah, my husband," and we never actually saw her husband. He's just some drunk guy or some guy who drinks beer all the time. If I named his beer June 2nd, then he would remember it. Okay, cool. So that's Agnes. Agnes almost sounds like Elizabeth Harkness. I keep on expecting Agatha Harkness to show up, but it didn't happen in this particular episode. The Toastmaster 2000 thing, and then right in the very beginning, this was something that was interesting. There was the plate that she accidentally had flying across the room, and it hit Vision in the head and broke. And it's like, my crazy wife, my husband with his indestructible head. Well, if we remember, his head is not quite so indestructible, is it? His head is not indestructible because she had to destroy um, the one Infinity Gem, the Infinity Stone in the MCU. I'm still a comic book guy, so it was a gem. Damn it! She had to destroy that thing in his head, and then he wound up coming back because of the Time Stone, and then he wound up like just destroying and wow, like ripping it right out of his head. So his head is not indestructible. So it's just interesting that she said that. Maybe like a harkening back, like I wish his head was indestructible. I don't know. We go on to the second episode. The first episode was just a bunch of running around, had to feed the family because that's how you get a promotion. For nobody could remember anything that was going on. They're just here and they don't know why. And then what's his name? The boss, Hart. He starts to choke on, I don't know, breakfast sausage or something, and he's laying there. He's like, "Oh, and the girl's like, "Stop, stop." Joe Rupp, whatever. She's like, "Stop." She kept on saying that. It got to the point where it started looking like she was looking directly at Scarlet Witch and saying, "Stop." And it started to become a little bit more urgent, but still that almost like she was hit with Joker toxin. These are just the little things that I'm trying to find that are interesting about this. And then the very end of it, it shows the sword patch. Yes, sword, Agents of Sword. Saddle up in the sky, Eye in the Sky. Yeah, Alan Parsons band project. Um, sword is actually in this because that symbol unmistakable. You know what I'm saying? Sword appeared in the next episode also, but it was kind of undone. Anyway, next episode happens. It's just this big thing. It's a talent show for and they're raising funds for the children and stuff like that. It's a very wholesome thing. The episode started out, and most of the episode felt like Bewitched. Okay. That was fun also. I used to watch Bewitched. I used to watch I Dream of Jeannie too. It doesn't mean that I want to watch them again. So the nostalgia thing, I guess it's cute and all that. It didn't really do so much. You know what I'm saying? Didn't do so much. I'm going to address that, Ewan. Um, there was a moment in here, or actually two moments with color before the end of the episode. The end of the episode, everything got turned to color. But before that, there was a helicopter. They found Scarlet Witch found a toy helicopter, and it was red and yellow. So it's not just red that we're seeing. There was some gray or silver in there also, but a red and yellow helicopter. Um, so that was kind of interesting. And then there was the sword symbol on the helicopter. Okay, and then later on, Dottie, the neighbor who you have to impress, she had blood on her hand. She wound up cutting her hand, and there was the red blood that was shown. Okay, so if we put three of these together, all three of these together, does that mean that there was a helicopter crash? Like the light was going off, beep, 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 beep. Holy crap, we're trying to do something, and the helicopter, it's going down, and then it does crash, and then there's blood that she sees everywhere. That's the only thing that I could personally put together for all three of those. I don't know. It is what it is. The I see that could have been yeah, Kyrie, you're a little late. I mentioned that. No worries though. Um, Derek, yeah, I know. I started thinking that maybe it was for War Machine and Iron Man 2, but then I wonder why there wasn't a Falcon or some kind of a bird there also, because that would have made more sense because Falcon was up in the sky when all that stuff happened too. So that's why I immediately rolled that one out. Later on, there was a watch, the Strucker watch. So Baron von Strucker from Sokovia, the whole Captain America Civil War thing. So the watch started doing a ticking that actually sounded very similar to the beeping on the toaster also, which was rather interesting, right? So there's a talent show, and then all of a sudden she's like, "Oh my God, Vision, is this happening?" And she gets up at the very end, and she's got a little bit of a belly. She's showing a little bit of a bump, the bun in the oven. She's pregnant, right? And it's like, "Oh my God, is this really happening?" We were told to expect that we're going to wind up seeing her children in this, different from the Scarlet Witch, or excuse me, from the Vision and Scarlet Witch series. There were two comic book series with that. It's supposed to be very different from that. It's actually supposed to be Speed and um, Wiccan, so they're supposed to be in it. I also heard rumors that Hulkling was going to be in this too. That would be interesting. I don't know that all the Young Avengers are going to be introduced here, but I do know that it was already revealed that Battle Flag or Battlestar, I think it's Battlestar, is supposed to be in the Falcon and Winter Soldier thing. So that's interesting in and of itself. So they're really trying to push the Young Avengers. I was never really a huge fan of the Young Avengers. Just it is what it is, but cool. And then you kept twice at the very end, and then later on you heard Wanda. Who's doing this to you, Wanda? Wanda. Who's doing this to you, Wanda? Now I can't place the voice. I really tried, but I'm not sure exactly who it is. What I found interesting, yeah, there would be a Hydra mark on there. What I found interesting, I got to stop looking at the comments until I'm done because I'm going to wind up losing my train of thought. They hear another noise like, oh, is it that stupid tree again? They go outside and they see a beekeeper, someone in a beekeeper suit, and bees actually coming out of the ground. Now, in the comic books, what do we always call the beekeeper suit? That would be the AIM uniform. Now, this was in black and white, so if that was in yellow, that would have made more sense. But for right now, I can just look at it as that's rather interesting. So we know that we should have Hydra in this because Strucker, right? But what if AIM is somehow involved in this also? Because we've got Sword for sure, right? So what is up with the beekeeper suit? But the beekeeper suit did have the sword logo on it again. So it's like, oh my God, what is this? So again, the shows, both episodes, rather boring. Rather boring to me. It's like, yeah, a whole bunch of cool things happen. The magic show was fun. There was a couple things that were fun, make no mistake, but I didn't need to see zap, zap, zap people kill each other, but it was just literally 2 episodes of black and white stuff. And the only fun part was trying to look for the things that were going to potentially happen, the little clues as to what's happening. That's the only thing that really gives any excitement to me, which is why I say I genuinely expect that there is going to be some serious rewatchability for this entire season, which is fantastic. All right, which is fantastic. So there's going to be, oh, what did I say? There's going to be 9 episodes of this. Actually, here's the book right here. When I did my podcast, I found out exactly how many episodes are supposed to be. I think there's supposed to be 9 or 10. Which one was it? Doop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doo. Episode 1 and 2 is releasing. The 8 minutes things, whatever. It is what it is. Yeah, I think it's supposed to be like 9 or 10 episodes. Anyway, whatever it ends, it's going to end, and then we're going to have 1 week of no new MCU content, and then the following week is when Falcon and Winter Soldier is supposed to come out. So go and check out the Comic Book University podcast for more on that. Okay, so yeah, 8 episodes sounds like that's about right. Also, I wrote it down. I can't remember where I wrote it down, but I know I put all that information together in the podcast, so I wasn't expecting to actually bring it up here. It's probably in the week before. So anyway, bang, that's done. Okay, let's look at some of these comments here so as to not ignore anyone. Berserker Zod didn't seem to like it, beginning and end of this. Okay, EW, I said I was going to mention something about this. And yes, how are you doing also? No worries. We're excited. It's cool. So here's the thing about the Mephisto thing. I don't buy it. All right, and let me explain why. I'm not saying he won't appear. What I am saying is when Daredevil was coming out, there was a mystery villain, and people were right away saying it's going to be Mephisto. When the Spider-Man movie was coming out, the second one specifically, ooh, there should be a second villain in there, somebody special. We don't know who's going to be. It's probably going to be Mephisto. When the Defenders television show was coming out on Netflix, everybody right away, ooh, who's Sigourney Weaver playing? Oh my God, I know who it is. It's going to be Mephisto. She's going to be Mephisto. No, I'm serious. This really happened. Everybody, talking about this. Falcon and Winter Soldier. They start showing what is clearly Ogun's face and his the hand ninjas and whatnot. It's clearly their symbol to anybody who's read comic books before, right? And there's everybody once again. Ooh, a devil face. Must be Mephisto. Guys, Mephisto will show whenever he feels like showing. He will not be cast. It will be the actual Mephisto, and he will show up whenever he damn well pleases. But we've got Nightmare that's supposed to be showing up in the Doctor Strange part 2. And I'm expecting that Nightmare could potentially show up in this, maybe in the final episode. I expect Doctor Strange to actually show up in the final episode also. I know they're both supposed to cross over in the TV show here and the movie there. But also a little bit of something in the new Spider-Man movie that's supposed to drop also. There's supposed to be some crossover event there. Anyway, so yeah, I don't believe that Mephisto is going to have anything to do with this at all. But if you do have something, by all means, let me know. Yeah, the opening was Kara, there was also Reddit. Yeah, everybody came in a little bit later. Forgot that I already or didn't realize I already mentioned that good stuff. No worries. I think the voice is the man from Ant-Man and the Wasp. That's really specific. Ewan, if you are correct on that one, I will remember and you will get all the kudos in the world. The voice of the FBI agent from Ant-Man. What? DC Bigos? Okay, where are you guys getting this stuff from? Where are you guys getting this stuff from? Nobody just comes up with that stuff. All right? The FBI agent. Oh, wait, are you talking about Jimmy Woo? Oh, yeah, because Jimmy Woo is supposed to be in this, who's Agents of Atlas. He winds up heading Agent of Atlas. If that's what you mean, okay. Now I see where you're getting that from. Because, yeah, I do know that he's supposed to show up at some point in this. Okay, you know what? That's actually a really good prediction there. I see what you're doing. Kudos where it belongs. Love the episodes. Didn't expect it to be this good. There were stuff happened. I was expecting more. I was expecting to at least get an idea of what was going on. I feel like all of these episodes are just going to be little pieces until we get to where we're supposed to be, which would be interesting, but is what it is. Do you guys think that all this could be the BARF program from Civil War? Not impressed. Evan, what's up, Evan? I don't know how long though. Dude, I was falling asleep watching it. Yeah, I'm just like exhausted. I have to admit, I did finally binge Cobra Kai 3 right before this. So it ended. I had about 45 minutes, and it's just like, I'm going to walk around. But yeah, I got to see this quick. Eric, yeah, I think 8 episodes is about right. Zod didn't like it. Makes sense why they came out with the first 2 episodes, because the first episodes pissed a lot of people off. It's 9 episodes. Okay, yeah. It's one of them. Can't believe I'm awake. Picked up the first episode for me, word chaos. First episode for me was the word chaos. Maybe a reference to chaos magic. Where did you see chaos? Because yes, it would absolutely be a reference to chaos magic. My bad, it was the comment before yours. It's cool. Agnes did say that's not the only place he is when Dottie said the devil is in the details. Okay, I see what you're saying. Really? Ewan, I never really thought Mephisto would be in any of those projects. um, I really advise y'all watch it when you wake up, not at freaking 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. Well, I actually have to be to work in a half an hour. Work is here on my computer, so I technically have to be awake anyway. We all have different schedules. BARF program, prof, I'm calling it. Dude, if this is the BARF program, I don't even know what else to say about this. Really don't want to spoil all these episodes. I wanted to wait for the new MCU content to ruin it for myself. Gonna leave and come back. All right, talk to you later, Evan. I'm at work, so I'm up. William Gutting, the twins kind of tied to Mephisto, though, no? Yes, absolutely. Eventually in the comics, but I don't think that they're going to use that. It's so much to tie them all in like that. Zatanna was an episode 2. That would actually be really funny if there was a crossover to that. The shows are, yeah, the shows are very short, but I'm glad since it was so, he's officially cast in it. Jimmy Woo is back. True. This is supposed to bring the X-Men. Then maybe Professor X might show up. I don't know if it's supposed to bring the X-Men. It could. How's Cobra Kai? Was it where? Yeah, I definitely loved it. It's definitely Sword. Yes, it is Sword. Okay, so here's my thing on this. Oy. And Paul Bettany said he gets to work as an actor he's been wanting to work with. So yeah, Paul Bettany said that he wants to return, but apparently he's not scheduled to return to anything else after this. That being said, neither was Chris Evans, but Chris Evans just today, apparently there's a lot of larger news companies reporting that there's contract negotiations going on between Chris Evans and the MCU for Chris Evans to return to the MCU, hopefully as Captain America, but he wants to actually return to get, and I really hope that is going to be the case. I'm going to talk about it in a lot more detail on the Comic Book University podcast, which drops every Sunday morning, about 5 a.m. New York, Toronto time. But cheap plug. But here's the thing. Yes, you feel like this is going to be the House of M. In fact, there's even the whole solicits where Elizabeth Olsen, who by the way looked great in this, like she looked better than I've ever seen her before. I mean, like, wow, she looked good. I don't even want to say that too loud because my wife's going to come in and be like, "You looking at other women?" I'm not looking at other women, baby. I ain't looking at no other women. I know what you're talking about. There ain't no other women on the face of the planet to look at in the first place. You're the only one. So, I mean, I'm terrified of my wife, but the point is, um, what do you call it? Which could be Patrick Stewart. That could be interesting too. So anyway, she does do the whole House of M thing, the no more mutants, with the paper there, and she says it. Yeah, so it could absolutely do that, but I don't believe it's going to be exactly the way that the comic books happened. Remember, the Infinity Gauntlet comic book happened almost not at all the way that it happened in Infinity War and Endgame, right? The Infinity Gauntlet comic book, completely different. There were only a couple little scenes here and there, like Captain America walking forward. He didn't even say his speech, but you could kind of expect him to have a speech. He didn't lift a hammer in that comic book, right? Or in those 6 issues. None of that stuff happened. And believe me, I'm a big fan, and I know 3 of the 4 people who made the comic book personally. All right. George Perez kissed me. George Perez kissed me. Offered to kiss me a second time. I was a little freaked. I feel bad now that I didn't allow it. I'm saying, you know what I'm saying? What do you call it? But anyway, yeah, those movies were completely different from the comic book. That being said, there was just enough fan service there to do it. So, are they going to make the House of M just basically House of M from the comics, but in reverse, where okay, bring in more mutants? Yes, we can expect that to happen, but it doesn't mean it's going to happen. So don't get hopes up too much. You build your hopes up, and all of a sudden, it doesn't really work so well, right? I don't think it's Parf. I think Wanda's bending reality. She doesn't know her story ends. I'm almost positive that's exactly what winds up happening. Yeah, like I said, she undoes the beekeeper thing. That 70s show, come on. Oh yeah, she was from that 70s show too. Okay, cool. You can call me lame if you want, but personally, I'm a happily married man, which means that I watch not the best shows on TV, but is what it is. Theory: Wanda was devastated after Avengers. Of course, that's what's going to happen, Derek. Jerry Bino reference to illusion and glamour from Vision Star. Yes, exactly. Every man, like I mentioned that in the beginning, the references to the 2 series. Every man must fear his wife. Always is not true love. Don't think it's therapy because sword being involved. You dishonored George Perez. I let him kiss me once. Shut up. And I have Joe Rubenstein's phone number. I've never called him, but I've got Joe Rubenstein. No, actually, I did call him the one time from the art. He sent me to the art store at Niagara Falls Comic Con to get some art supplies from him from what was it, a Michaels? Anyway, something like that. So yeah, I've told that story before. So yeah, I do believe that. Listen, we got to watch this and just see all the things that are going to unravel from here. There are going to be some fan service things clearly from the comic books, but yeah, yeah, it's going to be different. Don't forget, from the comic books, it wasn't actually Speed and Wiccan who were her children. Those children were born and then immediately disappeared, and that's what Mephisto had to do with it. They were just demons, it turns out. But then later on, that's when she willed Speed and Wiccan proper to come into the Marvel universe, to be born through her, right? So, like, the Mephisto element doesn't at all need to happen in here. When it go, the barf stuff is funny. That's certainly a possibility. We just have to look at some of the characters who are going to be coming in soon. We know this is going to tie in with Doctor Strange. We can assume, we can presume, let's presume instead of assume. We can presume that some X-Men will be brought in. It makes sense that this will happen, but this is going to be the vision that, the vision that Kevin Feige has for things. And he's not going to, just historically, it shows he's not going to make it exactly like the comic books. He's going to make it very different. Look at the way he made AIM in Iron Man 3, right? Actually, that wasn't entirely him, but you get what I'm saying. Kids will be taken out of her and make her go crazy. Start AIM. Definitely had something going on here with the beekeeper. Again, we can imagine. They did have the bees, which added to it, like I said. Classic Wanda doing what she wants. Put the beds together, instantly pregnant. That boom, that's how it happens. That's how that felt a lot like the Donna Reed show for me. I actually used to love the Donna Reed show. I don't know why. It's like such a freaking misogynistic show, but it was back in the 50s, so I mean, what did you expect, right? But I used to watch reruns of that on Nick at Night. Anyway, no accountability. Wonder she'll have Quicksilver, Formentori. He is scheduled to appear in 2 episodes. He's still dead, but of course, so is Vision. So he is scheduled to. What's his? I forget what his full real name is, but anyway, the same actor. He has signed on to do 2 episodes. So yeah, did Wanda recreate the Infinity Stone that's inside Vision's head? Uh, did she? No, I don't think she recreated anything. I don't think that's really Vision. It's just her imagination. She's trying to protect herself. Much like House of M. Is it Evan Peters? He's one of those guys who has 3 names. So Aaron Taylor Johnson. Thank you, Ewan. So anyway, yeah, that was definitely. I remember it was like a J at the end. His last name. There's supposed to be 3 organizations: Sword, AIM, and I would imagine Hydra. But yeah, who knows? Because they had Zemo on there, so I imagine that Zemo is going to have something to do with Hydra pretty soon, because that will lead into the no problem. Hey, this should lead somehow into Falcon and Winter Soldier also. So there's that. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna wrap this up because again, there wasn't really that much revealed in here. Now, mind you, the guys who know the spoilers are the people who got to watch the first 3 episodes of this. That's right. Certain people in the much larger than regular old YouTube audience, they got to watch the first 3 episodes, so they'd have time to type out their spoiler responses. Now they are duty bound that they're not allowed to give spoilers for that 3rd episode because that didn't drop yet, right? But every Friday at apparently 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, or midnight Pacific Standard Time, that's when these episodes are going to drop. Only 1 episode per week from this point on. So yeah, and then again, a 1-week reprieve, and then right into Falcon Winter Soldier. So it's time, ladies and gentlemen, it's time, alumni, to delve back into the MCU. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Anyway, guy, also expect that they're going to be doing something with the Scarlet Witch at some point, but they don't have to anymore, right? Because now that the Vision Scarlet or WandaVision and the Falcon Winter Soldier, it's such a long title, geez. Now that these 2 are coming out, they've got plenty of time to stall before they have to start thinking about what to do with Black Widow. So if movie theaters can open up en masse again, then that's what they'll do. If not, they're going to be reconsidering releasing it on Disney Plus. And this actually does come from, it doesn't come, of course, the rumor sites are always talking about that, but I, I'm trying to remember, was it Deadline or Hollywood? It sounds more like a Deadline article, but one of those two, Deadline or Hollywood Reporter, was saying that this is what they were mulling over again. Because remember, when Disney did its whole, press release stuff, they did large press releases, for all of us, especially the stuff with the Mandalore, or with the Star Wars properties and the Marvel properties. They did all that big release, but there was still a lot of stuff that they didn't release to the general public. They only released it to investors, and some of these investors are the type that are willing to talk to press. So if somebody like Deadline and or Hollywood Reporter is reporting on something, you take it with a hell of a lot more than a grain of salt. So I'm looking forward to some of these things. Strucker with Strucker Watch was with Hydra on the radio. Kevin Page said they're trying to charge their storytelling because most fans already know what's in the comics. Exactly, We Are Paramore. Exactly. We already know what's happening there, so they don't want to do the same thing. Maybe the Vision guy called a communist is cool. Oh, and the Beekeeper's either Random Sword Agent or Mephisto Grim Reaper pushed to go to. I highly doubt it's Mephisto. I strongly doubt it's Mephisto. In fact, here's my prediction. When we finally do see Mephisto, it'll be around the time that Silver Surfer is released, because Silver Surfer issue number 3, first appearance of Mephisto. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying. We're all making predictions here. All right, guys, I will talk to all of you later. Love, peace, and hair grease. Take it easy. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.